Aimed, shelled, loaded, cartridge case, loaded. Everyone runs away. Pull the cord.
Yes? All right. In this report, we're going to be working with the Khatia Brigade, and we're going to show you some artillery systems. The first one, the one I'm sitting on, was built in 1955. Just to imagine, that is the same year my father was born, and my father is now an old man with white hair. So the technology and the material that I'm sitting on kind of corresponds to a grandpa. How does an old gun like this fit into the modern theater of war? I don't know. That's what we're here to find out. It's called D-20. It's the favorite gun of the Ukrainian commander-in-chief, by the way, Alexander Syrsky. The guys actually say that it's quite effective, that it rarely breaks. Also, we're going to film the M101, which is Western. We're going to compare those two systems used by the same brigade, see what the differences are in how they work, in what they are able to do. Anyways, due to the threat of FPV drones and reconnaissance drones, as you can see, this gun as well as the M101 are not standing somewhere on the field, but here in this lovely hole. It's not going to look so good on camera, but that's just the reality. Alright, we hope you enjoy the report. The US American M101 and the Soviet D-20 are both towed howitzers produced and built over 70 years ago. They were originally meant to fight each other, which they did, for example, in Vietnam, but in the Ukrainian armed forces, they are on the same side. The D-20 was designed in 1947. Weight 5.7 tons, 152mm caliber, towed, maximum firing range 24 kilometers. It has seen a lot of wars: Vietnam, Afghanistan, Iran, Iraq, Lebanon, during the First and Second Nagorno-Karabakh wars, as well as the Syrian civil war. The previous versions of the M101, the M2A1 and M2A2, were the standard 105mm field guns during the Second World War and also the Korean War. In 1960, during the Vietnam War, the M101 received the name it still carries today. It is a howitzer built mainly for supporting infantry. With a caliber of 105mm and weighing 2.2 tons, its maximum firing range is around 12 kilometers. These howitzers are more modernized cannons rather than the computerized and wheeled war machines we see being built today. An old gun like this must be manually loaded, manually aimed, and then fired with force.
Aimed, shell, loaded, cartridge case, loaded. Everyone runs away because the equipment is old. Pull the cord. And that's it. We go around in circles. They give instructions, where should we shoot? The shells are also for different targets, roughly speaking. These, let's say, like hero shells. Which, well, they fly like heroes.
The advantage of such old equipment is that it is meant to last. And, for such an old gun, it's quite accurate. The M101, although Western, is just as manual. This exact model was built in 1943.
Як ти оцінюєш точність і потужність цієї гармати в порівнянні з радянськими аналогами?
Well, it's hard to say. Each has its pros and cons. But this one is much more accurate. It's just a little worn out. It's from 1943. But it still destroys enemies as it should.
Наскільки важливо мати артилерію в підрозділі саме 105-го калібру, і чи взагалі це щось вирішує?
Of course it matters. Long-range guns are long-range guns. But with the 105, you can calmly hit infantry or even take apart a checkpoint. So yeah, it's quite effective. And as for the Russians, from what we hear on intercepts, they don't hear our outgoing shot. For them, it's just an immediate impact. They just get the impact, and that's it.
The D-20 can fire most 152mm shells. The standard shell weight is 44 kg. The basic shell is high explosive and fragmentation. Other projectiles include smoke, chemical, and incendiary. The M101 fires semi-fixed ammunition. That means there are 3 different parts to the ammunition: the fuse projectile, the casing to hold the propellants in the primer, and the bag propellant charges. The shells are much lighter, with a weight of around 15 kilograms.
Які головні переваги і недоліки?
I only really know the advantages. Disadvantages? Well, it's just old and worn. But otherwise, I can only name pros. You recharge the oil or nitrogen once, and that's it. It stays in place, no leaks. Unlike the Soviet ones. Those, from what I've heard from the guys, need more frequent servicing. This one is unpretentious. You clean it, you do maintenance on time, and it keeps showing good results.
Які плюси використання саме цієї гармати? Може найбільші, там перезарядка якась особлива або ще щось, і які, можливо, найбільші мінуси?
Simplicity. That's the big plus. Because, well, it's very hard to mess something up with this gun. I mean, specific shells, specific casings, specific weight, and it's hard to mix things up. So the gun's simplicity, the drawback, same as the advantage, is that it's small. Also, every time it fires, it blows away all the camouflage, and everything around it catches fire, so to speak. That's a real drawback, yeah.
Як змінилась роль артилерії через FPV, через те, як це розвилося зараз, типу, чи так само це важливо?
The role of artillery doesn't change. I mean, soldiers in dugouts, I think artillery is still the easier way to get at them. FPVs, sure, they're more precise, but taking apart a proper bunker, something reinforced, artillery, I think, still does that better.
The disadvantage of both the D-20 and the M101 is that they are difficult to maneuver. But since the threat of drones is so high that the guns have to stay hidden and dug in, that isn't really the primary issue. Anyway, for a howitzer to be effective, it requires a crew that knows what it is doing.
Можливо, ваш підхід для ваших позицій змінився через FPV, ви почали по-іншому власне, ховатись, по-іншому робити оці всі укриття і...
Of course it's changed.
Розкажіть.
More protection against FPVs, covering, more camouflage overall. Now, the main focus is to protect the crew and the gun. Nets, branches, anything you can use to stop drones from getting through. Plus, we also try drone air defense. We try to shoot them down. There's no way without it, because if they spot you, it's not even certain it'll be an FPV coming. Could be a grad or enemy artillery. If they spot you, that's really bad.
Можливо, ти хочеш розказати про якусь історію, пов'язану з цією гарматою, яку потрібно розказати. Це все йде на західну аудиторію і буде бачити люди, які безпосередньо своїми податками і взагалі стараннями.
What story? Well, it survived 2 direct hits with us. It was shredded with fragments, but it wasn't penetrated. The second time, the round stuck and went off. It spun and hit right into the mesh opening with the fuse and didn't reach the crossbar of the frame. Stopped 2 centimeters short. And the fishing line helped. The line tangled it, spun it, broke the filament, and that was it.
After this experience, we still don't know which system is really better. All we know is a lot of ammunition is better than less. A working gun is better than a broken one, and an old gun is better than none. Aside from the invaluable support from its allies, what is keeping Ukraine from being overrun is its spirit.
Хуя такий, сука, блядь.
Чому ви обрали стати артилеристом? Чи обрали ви?
Honestly, I came from infantry, got wounded, and as an infantryman, you do long marches. Marches first, hearing second. Then my eyesight started to go. And then I realized, not even about my own life, but that I could let others down. For example, one of my ears doesn't really work. If there's a sound on that side, I won't hear it. On infantry positions, that could be an enemy recon group, a saboteur, or any movement. I wouldn't hear it, and I'd endanger the whole group. So I figured it made sense to move a bit back, You're still doing your job. You still play a big role in this war. In infantry, I couldn't stay rationally. But in artillery, I can do my duty. My health is enough for this.
If there is a take from the story, it's this. Every gun, whether Western or Soviet, needs soldiers who fire it. No matter the situation and no matter the danger.
Слава Україні! Героям слава! Хартія! Сила і воля!